Welcome to Pattaya Park. Pattaya Park is designated as an amusement park and has been open for several years, well, since the late 1990s it opened actually, and this was probably the beginning of Pattaya trying to clean up its image and make Pattaya a more attractive family resort. And it certainly is a superb facility here in Pattaya. Although a little bit aged now, it's showing its age a little bit, it still has a lot of good facilities. Currently with the COVID problems and the pandemic and the lack of tourists, a lot of the park facilities are not open. But today we come down to have a look at what goes on here, and I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, then please like and subscribe and ask us any questions. So here we are at the park, just approaching the ticket desk. The cost of entering is very cheap. It's superb for Pattaya actually. The cost is 100 bahts per person. That includes children over 80 centimeters in height. Under 80 centimeters in height, then the children go free. Situated halfway between Pattaya and Jomtien Beach, it's very easy to reach from any location here in Pattaya. Taxis will take you down there pretty cheap, if you're not more than 120, 140 bahts, say, I would guess. So it's easy to get to. When you come out, there's always a load of taxis waiting to take you back to where you wanted to go. Now, these facilities here, an amusement park is not really the first thing that comes to your mind when you start thinking about Pattaya, and that's not the reputation it has, or it hasn't had. Since the COVID thing came, I think we're beginning to see a big difference in Pattaya. The government, the local council and the government really are trying hard to change the image of Pattaya, and they are doing that. As bars are closing down, they're getting demolished. I think when this pandemic is all over, we're going to see a much different Pattaya. We're going to see a much more upmarket Pattaya, and there's very many signs now downtown to show that that is actually the case. There's some very nice food stall bar areas going up where you can take your family, similar to you see in Dubai or the waterfront in Singapore. Nice family resorts where you can go out at night and enjoy yourself, you have some entertainment. That is the future for Pattaya, I am sure. There will always be the girly element, but certainly not like there's been in the past. Bars at the moment are struggling to find girls to come down here with the open, close. Many of them gone home, they've settled down at home, they've changed their lifestyles, and have no real interest to returning to Pattaya. But anyway, let's get back and talk about the water park itself. It has all the facilities you want in the water park. There's cafeterias, there's dining areas, there's a little shop, you can buy swimming accessories, costumes, everything you need here. There's changing rooms, showers, and there's safe areas for children. There's several giant water slides in the park. This area we're looking at now is all for small kids. There's nothing deep there, and it's easy to watch what they're doing around about. There's some small slides, etc., and some water amusements that keep them running about, and kids tend to love it. I think Pattaya Park hit some notoriety some years ago, in 2009 actually, when there was a young lad, 14 years old, who lost his goggles into a suction tube from the pool, and managed to wiggle himself in to try and retrieve his goggles, and he disappeared. After his father searching for him and then raising the alarm, it took about 30 minutes before the engineers went down to the pump room and opened up one of the covers down there to find the lad's body down there. So it was a tragic accident, and the park has maximised all the safety aspects of it now to hopefully never let it happen again. There is a beach area to the park, there's a fairground, there's a large international hotel which is currently closed. Above the hotel there is 3 floors of international restaurants which I believe are also closed. From the top there's actually a jump area where you can choose several ways of getting to the ground. The most popular being on a cable where you go down and you slide down onto the ground from the top of the tower. As you can see, it's very, very quiet at the moment. In the season, this would be absolutely full. You'd be struggling to find tables, and a lot of people come here and they bring their blankets and etc. and their mats, and they take up space on the ground, and it's a good family day out, and it's absolutely superb. Young children enjoy it, adults enjoy it, it's good for teenagers. I would say well worth a visit. And when you get tired of sightseeing and walking around the shops in Pattaya, what a wonderful day it is to come out here and relax and just let the mood take you over. You can eat here, it's very cheap. Nothing's expensive here because it was primarily designed for the Thai people. Here you can see the tower and the 3 restaurants on the top. It's when I worked out here in the 90s, actually, the reputation of the restaurants, there's a revolving one of these revolves inside, I believe. The reputation for the food was not so good, and it was expensive and nothing worth writing home about, I was told, although I never tried it, but that was the general opinion of those that I know that went. So I kind of avoided it, but I believe it's really transformed itself now, and it did before the pandemic came along. It was well respected and had built up a reputation for good food. Indeed, my son lives in the UK now and at Bristol University. He had his 18th birthday up there, and the food was superb and a brilliant night. The water park's open from 10 o'clock in the morning through to 7 o'clock at night, as is the attractions outside, the fun fair, etc. Whilst the restaurants up at the top of the tower, they're open till 10 o'clock in the evening. A lot of people could come here and actually spend their whole holiday just sitting around the park. Actually, it's good, and maybe the occasional day out, go exploring somewhere else. But you know, as I said at the beginning, Pattaya is transforming itself. This water park is aged now; it's over 20 odd years old. But there's 2 brand new water parks in a very close vicinity also. There's the Cartoon Network Park with a Disney theme, just further down Sukhumvit Road, and there's also the Ramayana Water Park, which is also very close, with brand new facilities and all the latest in water park features. But I have to say they are considerably more expensive. I will try to get round and make a video of these in the near future. Actually, I don't really even know at this moment if they're open or not, but I would imagine they still get business at the weekends from people coming from Bangkok, etc. Here you are, you can see the slides, very popular. If you can be bothered to walk all the way up to the back and then go up all the steps to the top and then whiz down, children love it. They are quite strict. They've got security at the top of these slides. Anybody that they don't think should be going down is turned back. Once again, safety conscious, and that is important. So going back to talking about what else Pattaya is doing, as I said, they've got new facilities downtown now, similar to Bangkok and similar to Dubai, and to the waterfront in Singapore. They're all constructed now and ready to start, but nothing's fitted out yet because there's no tourists coming. I see there's a lot of speculation amongst people that own the bars, and I suppose a lot of them are depressed and they're speculating because they're hoping things are going to change in the near future. But to be honest with you, I don't think a lot of these bars will ever reopen, and a lot of the sex areas that still exist, the areas with a reputation for being a bit more on the sexual attraction side, I think a lot of those will go. A lot of them have gone already, and where a group of bars close down, it seems that the council quickly move in and demolish them, so they will never reopen again. Two streets in particular, Soi 7 and Soi 8, that used to be very, very popular, they're now desolate with a lot of the bars gone, and I don't think there's any future for them. Also, the strange thing is that hotel building is going ahead at a rapid pace. There are several new hotels going up, which indicates the confidence in what's going to be the future here in Pattaya. They look like class buildings and exactly what families would want for their holiday. Coming to Pattaya, and to Thailand and to Pattaya in particular, if they do indeed change the whole atmosphere of the place as they look as though they're intending to, it will be a very attractive holiday resort. There is everything here you could want. There's golf, there's all the sports, there's zoos, there's water parks, there's beautiful beaches, there's cheap food outlets, there's class food outlets that are a lot more expensive. And you can still have a very good holiday on a budget. But in the past, the majority of the tourists coming here to Pattaya were the guys that the girls called cheap Charlies, that didn't have a lot of money, but they wanted to enjoy themselves. They wanted to take advantage of the reputation of the city, max out with alcohol and girls, and spend as little as possible, which is good for the girls maybe, and good for the bars, but not good for the tourist industry as such, because these people kept a lot of normal people away. I remember when I worked in Thailand, and I was always a bit wary about saying to people, well, I'm out in Thailand and I'm working and living out there, because you could see a lot of people's eyes roll and they look at each other and say, oh, we know what he's up to then. And that really wasn't the case. I came out here to work, and I had no inclination actually at the time to what I was coming to, and even though it was a bad boy's paradise, as it became to be known as. So here we are on the outside of the water park now, and this is a lot of the fair, a lot of the fair facilities, the swing boats here, and they've got a big wheel and several things. The only thing that seems to be running out here is the scenic railway, actually, that meanders its way around the park and the other facilities. Once again, in the tourist time, this would also be mobbed. There'd be people around here, there'd be food stalls, there'd be all sorts of people selling all sorts of things. It was a good atmosphere, actually. There's a nice beachfront on the park here that's used more or less exclusively for visitors to the park and to people living in the hotel here. That's nice and quiet. you don't get so many beach hawkers coming up this far. So you can have a relaxing day on the beach. I think living at this hotel, you get either free or preferential rates for using all the facilities in the park area. The various ticket costs for the day when everything's up and working, you can have the fairground rides and buffet included in one day cost. There was always various options that you could take when you came down here, with the access to the water park being the big one, where you could go in for a relatively low cost and have an enjoyable day inside and not spend a lot of money in there also. I think once you started moving into the upstairs restaurants and things like that for buffets, etc., then the prices went up drastically. So this is Pattaya Park. I hope I've described it fairly well to you. It's a good budget park, and people with families that want to come here and take advantage of the Pattaya facilities round about, you couldn't get a better day out than coming down here. And I think hopefully when tourists does come back, and I don't think it's going to be in 2021, it won't be until everything's made a lot safer around the world and they've sorted out all these new viruses. Let's hope they'll come soon. Thanks for watching, take care and goodbye.